2018 BMW 5 Series Saloon Review. Pros. Great, they are driving. Strong engines. Exceptional comfort. Packed with technology. Best-in-class standard kit. Cons. Drive varies in accordance with spec. A-Class carries a bigger boot. Only 2 trim levels. Occasionally jerky gear changes. The BMW 5 Series is really a premium executive saloon that is certainly now in the 7th generation. Lighter, better and more efficient than its predecessor, that has been consistently the best-selling car to use class. The most recent 5 Series remains aimed at BMW's traditional values of driving pleasure and gratification. This car adds even more levels of luxury on the mix, having an intricate, high-quality home design, generally plush ride comfort along with a large quantity of cutting-edge technologies, many of which have filtered down through the flagship BMW 7 Series. Entry-level SE specification has more standard equipment than any rival, meaning what's more, it adds great value on the challenge it presents for the Audi A6, Mercedes-Benz A-Class, Jaguar XF and Lexus GS. Still the final driving machine? The all-new model features 5 engine variants, 520d and 530d turbodiesels plus 530i and 540i turbo petrols, along with a plug-in hybrid 530ei performance. More economical and in many cases sportier choices set to sign up their range shortly afterwards. All 5 Series come by having an 8-speed automatic gearbox, that is largely a fantastic transmission, with all the option of X-Drive all-wheel drive on almost the 530i and 530e. Performance is incredibly strong, and put together with handling that feels immediately more agile versus the preceding 5 Series. This is often a big, comfortable, high-licensed car that could cover even tricky roads exceptionally quickly. While the within may not have quite the wow factor in the Mercedes A-Class, the 5 Series has a lot of passenger space back and front, and feels noticeably more composed from behind the leader, which applies to both driving fast and cruising gently. Trim levels and technology. UK buyers possess the choice of SE or M Sport trim levels, with all the 520d efficient dynamics being a standalone model. Satellite and navigation is suited as standard on all 5 Series, which is on every BMW. Technology highlights around the 5 Series include the modern iDrive infotainment system, with optional touchscreen and gesture control, an optional head-up display that's 70% bigger than before, along with the optional Driving Assistant Plus, a brand new suite of electronic aids that represent a stepping stone towards self-driven cars. Indeed, new 5 Series can safely change lanes within the motorway without worrying about driver touching the tire. This is very just the tip in the iceberg regarding tech, though. The best BMW 5 Series to buy. Fuel economy-minded buyers will likely be particularly serious about the 520d efficient dynamics if this arrives. The way it emits as small as 102 gkm CO2, comparable to an official fuel consumption figure of 72.4 miles per gallon, as well as the 530ei performance plug-in hybrid. This claims 44 gkm and 148.7 miles per gallon, but at considerable additional cost to both your wallet along with your suspension of disbelief. The 540i may very well be of least interest to UK buyers, as a result of its comparative profligacy. We do not obtain the M550i X-Drive high-performance model offered within the continent, as BMW is just not building it in right-hand drive. A fully blown M5 with supercar rivaling pace will probably be coming our strategies the not-too-distant future, however. Whichever 5 Series you ultimately choose, you'll get a car that is certainly right towards the top of its class. BMW 5 Series Saloon Model History October 2016 7th generation 5 Series Saloon accessible to order for February 2017 delivery. Only SE and M Sport specifications can be purchased, each paired together with the launch choice of 520D, 520D X-Drive, 530i, 530D, 530D X-Drive and 540i X-Drive. December 2016, plug-in hybrid 530e on the market to order in SE and M Sport specification. Claimed variety of up to 29 miles on electric in the power. The state efficiency rating is 141.2 miles per gallon and 46 gkm of CO2 with the SE version. January 2017, available to order for March delivery will be the 520D Efficient Dynamics, only followed by SE specification. Official claims of 72.4 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions of 102 gkm. Watch the entire BMW 5 Series Saloon review to find out why this four-door stalwart remains to be worth considering. Turbocharged petrol, diesel and hybrid options. Lusty 540i races from 062 miles per hour within just 5 seconds. All versions of the 5 Series are powered by engines from BMW's modular family, which implies regardless with the number of cylinder 4 or 6 at launch and whether drink petrol or diesel, they're all fundamentally related and all are fitted with turbochargers for increased performance and efficiency. BMW 540i. The most effective engine at launch would be the 340 horsepower 3.0-liter 6-cylinder turbo petrol from the 540i. Although we've only driven it with rear-wheel drive, from the UK this engine is going to be exclusively paired using the X-Drive all-wheel drive system. Having tried the X-Drive system within the 530DC below, we've without doubt this combination will almost certainly feel extremely fast, as well as 062 miles per hour is quoted at 4.8 seconds while top speed is electronically restricted to 155 miles per hour. Strangely, it's not by far the most exciting engine, however. The raw speed is in little doubt, though with such an enormous dollop of torque minus 450 Nm completely from 1,380 revolutions per minute to 5,200 revolutions per minute, there's no drama on the way it delivers its performance. The noise it can make is pretty boring, too. BMW 520D. The 520D, an electric train engine we're looking to be incredibly popular as a result of its appealing combination of on-paper fuel economy, tax bills as well as, is usually a well-known option inside the 5 Series range, and historically has sold in huge numbers. We thought it was more than adequate for your job during our initial test out. It lacks the type the 530D's extra couple of cylinders offers, but also for most the savings produced in purchase and running costs in excess of make up because of this. With a 062 miles per hour duration of just over 7 seconds, it's hardly what you'd call slow, as well as the compulsory 8-speed automatic gearbox works almost faultlessly to produce the correct ratio if it's required. BMW 530D. Curiously, this 265 horsepower 3.0-liter 6-cylinder turbodiesel is a bit more satisfying to push than the 540i. It feels barely any slower, sufficient reason for 620 Nm. It packs a straight bigger slug of torque, providing you a proper thump within the back once you have a sudden have to accelerate hard. Coupled with significantly better fuel economy, as well as a refined but meaty soundtrack, we'd certainly find out of these in the 3.0-liter petrol. Just 5.4 seconds or 5.7 seconds without X-Drive are needed for that 062 miles per hour sprint, as well as the immense traction from your all-wheel drive strategy is truly impressive. We didn't view the stability control light flicker once, despite consistent rain in the lengthy launch drive. Yet nor could we detect the torque being shuffled involving the axles within the hunt for grip. Top speed is again electronically on a 155 miles per hour. The 8-speed transmission fitted in both variants is often unflappable, but we did occasionally realize its slow to downshift inside 540i, where pacier upshifts also were built with a tendency to feel uncomfortably aggressive. BMW 530i performance offering an allegedly impossible blend of frugality and gratification. The hybrid 5 Series utilizes a 4-cylinder petrol engine along with an electric motor to channel 252 horsepower from the rear wheels. This promises comparable acceleration on the 530i, sprinting from 0.62 miles per hour in 6.2 seconds and leaning of any 420 Nm wedge of torque to produce speedy and gear progress. It's a convincing solution to diesel. Driven sedately, it's quiet and efficient and hard to share with which power source you're using. Less smooth throttle inputs manage to take the petrol engine aback, however, creating a noticeable changeover from electric mode to your conventional powertrain. Charging the car battery takes 5 hours coming from a normal domestic socket or under 3 if you possess a wall box. And BMW reckons combined you can find 29 miles of pure electric driving or nearly 400 miles combined. Top electric only speed is 87 miles per hour. When it's in hybrid mode you could expect 146 miles per hour. Other 5 Series engines we can't yet comment around the 4-cylinder performance from the 530i petrol when we are yet to operate a vehicle it. But we are able to tell you that it is going to do 0.62 miles per hour in as small as 6.2 seconds and features a top speed electronically on the 155 miles per hour, standard suspension and steering not tested yet options designed for making it handle even better. A very satisfying car drive and automobile. First, a caveat. All of the 5 Series we've tested up to now have been fitted with optional integral active steering, BMW's 4-wheel steering system and dynamic damper control, variable rate adaptive suspension with a number of comfort and sport profiles. Dynamic damper control. What's especially impressive around the dynamic damper control may be the degree of flexibility between comfort and sportiness it includes. In handling terms, this means you no more have to choose between an automobile that's great fun from the corners and also a car that's comfortable over a long journey, especially since there's an adaptive setting that instantly changes the character on the 5 Series as soon because it detects the type of driving you're doing right then. Integral active steering. The integral active steering, meanwhile, is designed to produce the car turn faster at low speeds and feel more stable at high speeds. A trick it achieves by electronically varying the angle with the rear wheels nearly 3 degrees. Yes, the trunk wheels steer along with the front. The stunning part about it is not a lot that it works in the manner described, but alternatively that be able to really detect the modifications, the 5 Series continuing merely to feel natural continually. As an outcome, so equipped this car absolutely lives approximately BMW's track record of putting driver enjoyment the main point on its products. Add an X-Drive too, and you've got an all-weather Executive Express that certainly gets the potential to leave many a performance car driver feeling very sorry in their own business. 520d or 530d? We found the 520D's handling to become fractionally less involving compared to the 530D's, presumably because in the extra weight in the latter's nose. That isn't to state that either car is detrimental in this respect, but the better model is noticeably more engaging because its nose communicates more details on how much grip you've got in corners. Beautifully finished inside design evolution increases spaciousness. Optional extras include HUD and gesture control. BMW's traditional driver-orientated interior layout has undergone an upgrade for the newest 5 Series. It's still recognizably a BMW inside, even so the newly freestanding central computer screen makes it seem more spacious and airy at the start, while a substantial increase in design intricacy helps supply the dashboard a first-class impression of quality without making its features harder to use. The rotary controller continues to be the principal, and maybe most intuitive, means of interacting with all the iDrive infotainment system. But the software may be redesigned to generate it easier to utilize the optional touchscreen capability, along with the 5 Series now offers gesture control also. Gesture control, don't bother, this may be improved since its introduction inside the 7 Series, now reacts more quickly along with greater consistency for the small volume of hand and finger movements it understands, permitting you to do items like dismiss on-screen notifications and change the degree without touching anything more. It's a bit of any gimmick still, though, so we'd probably save the money for something more useful. Head-up display, do bother, the also optional head-up display is a bit more useful. This projects information on top of the lower portion in the windscreen in front in the driver, so you not have to look away from your road to find out, by way of example, the interest rate you're traveling at or satellite and navigation instructions. Along with a 70% larger area, it's now handier than ever before. BMW happens to be one from the pioneers of the technology, and it also shows. Top quality almost everywhere, emphasizing the interest to detail BMW is going to, so that you can compete using the quality of Mercedes interiors. Some elements from the dashboard inside the 5 Series are individually laser scanned to ensure that adjoining pieces can be done to exactly match them, for any individual car. It's unfortunate then that this knobs for your climate control feel a little bit cheap. This aside, we've got no complaints, and believe Audi is likely to need to significantly up its game to complement its German rivals having its next generation A6. Specific dials with the hybrid: pick the 530e hybrid and you'll notice a few changes to your instrument cluster. There's a tiny secondary dial showing battery range. This looks just like a petrol gauge, as well as a remodeled rev counter. On one side on this dial there is really a charge zone to come up with when the batteries will be topped up, along with the other shows the amount power both electric and petrol you've in reserve, linked to how flat your right foot is. Floor it, as well as the needle rushes beyond the 40% mark, denoting the most electric drive available, and also the petrol engine will begin up. Using this gauge it's possible and keep the 530e in electric mode without firing inside the conventional motor. Exceptionally good ride quality with adaptive suspension, very comfortable seats, brilliant long-distance mile muncher even without testing the non-adaptive suspension, and that is available in standard and sport guises, the second firmer having a 10mm decline in ride height, wheel around declaring the optional dynamic damper control absolutely essential by. Paired with 18-inch wheels and smaller 17-inch wheels are standard on, say the ride quality is exceptional, on the point where you set about aiming at potholes for celebration. This is often a big step forward within the preceding generation of 5 Series. Choose your wheels carefully, it gets to be a bit thumpier over bad surfaces should you go around 19-inch wheels. However, compared to using the tinny sensations you receive from the modern Mercedes A-Class over lumps and bumps, the BMW always feels reassuringly solid and substantial. In fact, the 5 Series is really a soothing long-distance cruiser all-round, really. The seats are extremely comfy, with a lot of adjustment, as well as an optional massaging function that really feels like it's doing you some great, even though the straight-line stability helps it be a relaxing partner for lengthy motorway journeys. Refinement can be another strong point, with zero vibrations from the cabin and exactly the right amount of engine noise to remind you that you just are driving an automobile from a sporty brand. While the 530e hybrid is whisper quiet when operating in electric mode, the 4-cylinder petrol engine turns into a little noisy and coarse when pushed hard. What's more, the building is such which it suggests the 5 Series continue to feel this perfect for a long time to return. Just 2 trims from the UK standard spec is generous hybrid model has unique badging. The BMW 5 Series just 2 trim levels from the UK SE and M Sport. The manufacturer claims that SE is more preferable equipped than any rival's entry-level specification, and due to the list of fitted kit we come across no reason to disbelieve them. Standard BMW 5 Series Saloon equipment. Standard say spec boasts a lot of kit, including sedan with real-time traffic updates, 20 GB music storage, Apple CarPlay and DAB radio. First of all, you also find the drive performance control selector with eco, comfort and sport settings, back and front parking sensors, heated seats and automatic lights and wipers for convenience. Styling and tech highlights include LED headlights, 17-inch alloy wheels, dual-zone air conditioning, digital dials and cruise control. M Sport adds mostly cosmetic changes intended to provide 5 Series an even more sporting character. Included in this are different front seats, sportier brakes on more efficient models and 18-19-inch wheels dependent upon engine choice. You buy high-gloss black trim, LED fog lights along with an M body kit alongside plenty of M badges. This theme goes on inside, with M door sills, floor mats, pedals and wheel, along with a black headliner and aluminum trim. The BMW 530i Performance will come in say or sport trims but additionally gains a Larry blue front grille and alloy wheel details, plus e-drive badging within the rear pillars. Optional BMW 5 Series Saloon accessories. The new 5 Series can be better equipped than previously before, but this just appears to have made more room about the options list after only fancier extras. Examples include, display key, a key which has a screen from it that allows someone to access plenty of basic info concerning the car, to preset the heating and activate the remote device parking function. Another extra, yes. This theoretically means you are able to park your 5 Series without being from the car, but we haven't had time to test this yet. Bowers Wilkins Diamond Surround Sound System, top choice from 4 hi-fi systems. This features 10-channel amplification, 16 speakers, 1,400 watts and illuminated speaker grills, expensive and slightly underwhelming rear seat entertainment, known as the Experience System. This features 2 individually controlled 10.2-inch screens to the rear seat passengers with built-in Blu-ray players and connections for MP3 players and games consoles, not forgetting the head-up display, gesture control and touchscreen capabilities discussed earlier within this review, nor the Driving Assistant Plus package discussed from the safety section. Lots of high-tech safety kit. But most of it is only optional. Windscreen wipers. Strangely poor Euro NCAP gave the 2017 BMW 5 Series an entire 5 stars. Gets hotter tested it, and also the standard specification covers each of the critical bases, including 6 airbags, electronic stability control and tire pressure monitoring system. The hybrid 530e is sold with some extra tech including cross-traffic alert, are definitely the blind spot monitoring and active side collision protection. Where it gets exciting is from the realm of optional extras, especially the Driving Assistant Plus package, which wraps up a full suite of driver aids intended to help keep you better informed and in some cases take control in the car. Abbreviated periods. What Driving Assistant Plus includes: evasion aid, alerts you to definitely unexpected obstacles ahead and enables control the automobile during sudden movements to prevent them. Lane change assistant, pitched as comfort enhancing, actually allows that you change lane by activating the indicator for a few seconds, completely money-safe steering from the car into your next lane. Lane keeping assistant with active side collision protection, not just warns you in case you're on the verge of stray outside of lane but additionally if another vehicle seems set with a collision course. Steering and lane control assistant, will steer your vehicle for short periods, as long since it can detect the lane markings both sides, works nearly 130 miles per hour and only a light touch on the controls to reset, but is confused by slip roads. Priority warning, spots and alerts you to definitely places where you ought to give way, especially stop signs. Wrong way warning, notifies you if it thinks you're about to drive an automobile the wrong way down a street or motorway. Active cruise control, besides maintains a safe distance to your car before but spots which enable it to react to changes inside the speed limit. To cross traffic warning, detects vehicles approaching on the side, at junctions when you're reversing are only negative for the safety front strangely comes on the windscreen wipers. They have got only 2 standard speed settings, which suggests you can't set these phones' maximum speed manually during really tempestuous weather. The automatic setting go faster, but doesn't accomplish that consistently. That may be unnerving inside a downpour, to state the least. Seats 5 in comfort and space. Boot is smaller than that in the A-Class hybrid version loses 120 liters of space. The 5 Series incorporates a low, sporty seating position, meaning even while using shift to an even more coupe-like roofline with this latest model, there's still an abundance of room inside for around 5 passengers. Headroom is generous and yes it feels spacious and airy back and front. Wachi mentioned how comfortable the seats are, although associated with pension transfer executive saloons, the center rear passenger doesn't get quite this kind of good deal. Luggage space. The boot is 530 liters in capacity, that is 10 liters shy from the Mercedes A-Class. However, you shouldn't have to pack too sensibly to suit in everyone's bag on the run towards the airport. Interior storage is limited to your usual central cubbies, door pockets and glove box. These struck us as neither especially large nor disappointingly small. 530e makes do has a smaller boot. Batteries to power the electric motor are already stashed under the trunk seats, the place that the petrol tank usually goes, and this is moved backwards where it eats into boot space. As such, at this point you get 410 liters of capability to load luggage into. However, it does mean the boot floor sits flush from the lip, making it easier to bring along heavy items. There's also a smaller section in the floor that could be lowered, creating a recessed section for smaller items to get stored in.